So, I am not ashamed to admit that I have played across my life hundreds of hours of Tiger Woods PGA Tour games, and don't ask me why, because I'm not entirely sure, but genuinely, I used to enjoy them over some of the best shooter games that I had at the time. I would say the peak years for my obsession were between probably 07 to 2010-ish, and that's partly because I used to play these games with my family. My brother's not a huge gamer, but he likes sports games. He plays, FIFA loads, and we really enjoyed playing Tiger Woods because my dad also enjoyed playing these Tiger Woods games because he was into golf, and he could kind of get to grips with the controls a bit more than FIFA, because there's not really much to the Tiger Woods PGA Tour games, at least back then. You had different swings, and then that was pretty much it. You had to go and challenge against the wind, I suppose. You didn't have to take many things into account, especially on the easy mode. And then you got to the putting green, and then that was just kind of following a line around. Anyway, it was very simple, but we played loads and loads of that, to the point where some of these courses I know better than probably the layout of my hometown village or the layout of some of the best sandbox games ever. I know how to get around these courses in as few shots as possible, and there was something satisfying about going through the career modes on these games as well, and unlocking new clubs that had ridiculous stats, and you were just knocking holes in one in all over the place, and it was a lot of fun. They were all the same. They all looked trash. They all had some of the ugliest graphics I've ever seen. All of the people looked like aliens wearing human skin, like the dude from Men in Black 1, but I didn't mind because it was a lot of fun. And then I don't know why I stopped. I suppose I just thought I've probably played too much Tiger Woods PGA Tour for 100 men, never mind just myself, and then retired from the game. Probably also because I moved out of my parents' house and went to university, but it remains. The knowledge is still in there, and while I'm no good at golf in real life, because I get winded after 9 holes and can't finish the back 9, I am absolutely stellar at Tiger Woods PGA Tour. So if anyone out there who is also as obsessed with me wants to go 1v1 me on a putting challenge, my door's always open. Okay, that's my door to my little golfing cart that you drive around, your caddies there, but they're always open anyway, actually, because there's no doors on them. You just hop in. Anyway, you know what I mean. I don't know what I mean anymore. I'm going to leave this now. Sorry, Osley. Bye.
Now, when it comes to gaming obsessions, I could easily say Bioshock, Dishonored 2, as you guys all know that I have talked about. There is also Fashion Boutique, which I absolutely loved and was obsessed with, but instead, I'm going to go even further back to a game that I was really, really obsessed with, or games that I was obsessed with, and they were the cats and dogs games. Now, I don't know if anyone remembers these, but there was a fair few of them. They were PC games, and I was absolutely obsessed with them as a kid. And there was cats, there was dogs, and there was babies. And it was basically just a little game that you just like a point and click game where you just had to look after cats, dogs, or babies. And I was just so obsessed with these games as a kid, to the point where I didn't actually even have them on my PC, and they were on my friend's PC. So whenever I would go over there, I would have to sort of sneak over and be like, oh, maybe we can play some PC games. Can we play some cats? Can we play some dogs? Can we play some babies? I don't know why. The games themselves were just so simple. It was just looking after them and feeding them and dressing them up and washing them and playing with them in the garden, and then you unlocked things and you could give them treats and toys, and it was just so simple. It was basically sort of Nintendogs and cats, but you also had a babies option as well. And as a kid, I don't know why, but just maybe it was the mother in me. I've always been very motherly, and I liked looking after people and things and animals. So maybe that was why, but just looking back at them now, the games themselves were pretty crap. The graphics were really crap, but what I loved most as well about a lot of these games, especially the cats and dogs games, is that you could really, it was kind of like a Tamagotchi. You had to really look after them, otherwise they did get neglected. And not only that, with the cats and dogs, you could adopt multiple cats and dogs, and they could mate and make little kittens, and I friggin' loved it. I loved literally putting them in these little houses, and they would kind of sneak off, and I'd be check back every day. Oh, have they made a baby? Have they made a baby? Yes, it was pathetic, but I was 6 years old. Come on, can you blame me? Making babies, little internet babies. It was the best thing ever.
Let me breach a topic with you that you're only going to be in one of two camps, although there are some subdivisions to this. It's inverting controls. Okay, I'm an inverter, and it's the best way. It's the best way to be. Up is down, down is up, but left and right are still left and right. It's weird if you invert left and right. It's weird. I don't know why, but it's weird if you invert horizontally. It's totally fine if you invert vertically. And this is on my mind because I'm playing Fall Guys right now, and that game doesn't let you invert your controls. And having played a ton of the Avengers beta as well, that game gives you split invert options for aiming and flight control. Like, what absolute psychopath is setting their camera controls to one thing, and then when they take off, they get in the air as Iron Man, it inverts or uninverts so that up is down and down is up, or whatever. Just invert the up and invert the vertical. You know, the whole thing of the thing on the back of your head. You know, the whole up and down thing. And just go with that. That's just the way. So that's my obsession. Is every single time someone hands me a controller, if it's anything where we're taking turns on a game, I pause it immediately. I also pause as soon as the cutscene's finished. If some character's in peril, or oh my god, we need to do the thing. Pause. Let me just go down. I just need to invert. I just need to make sure, because otherwise it's just going to feel wrong. It just feels weird. So I've got to get that stuff spot on. And I know that inverters make up like 20% of the gaming population or something, but I'm one of them, and I'm right. And I can't say otherwise. It is my obsession talking, but I'm yet to get a game that feels right when up is up. So, just try it out. Maybe we can get that percentage inverted. You never know.
Right, okay, so a weird video game obsession I have. Obviously, I forget which video it was, but we did talk about it ages ago, how I can only walk in video games unless I absolutely have to run, because I don't want Arthur Morgan doing a really heavy sprint while Dutch is just strolling around, because that would look really weird and uncinematic. Same goes for breaking the traffic laws. Unless I have to break the traffic laws, I'm going to stop at that red light and expose how bad the AI drivers really are. But yeah, if we're going to talk about another video game obsession I have a big thing for only using historically accurate weaponry in video games that are set in the past. Now that might seem like an obvious thing, like, these games are set in the past anyway, why would they have historically inaccurate weapons? And I'll tell you, friend, that in Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5, they have some guns that just weren't used in the wars, either World War I or World War II. And the other thing is, even the guns that are used there, I have to make sure that it's the right side that's using them, so it's dumb, because no one else does this, and I put myself at a huge disadvantage. So basically, if I've gone between two sides, if my character is, say, on the American side, is using the M1 Garand, that's totally fine, I use that. Can I reload the weapon before I fired that last shot? No, because the M1 Garand didn't have a manual reload. You had to fire it all out, and then it made the ping noise. And obviously you want to hear the ping as well. The ping's great. And then if I moved on to the Japanese Empire side, and you still had the M1, no, get that M1 Garand out of here. I gotta have something else, like an Arasaka or something. I don't know. I'm just exposing how much of a massive history nerd I am right now, and how like things have to be in their places. So like, if I'm moving around and just the wrong gun is being used, it just it sets me off, right? It's just really dumb. And it winds me up because I'm the only one who does this. So I'll be like on the team, and then I'll get killed by a German who's using a BAR. And I'm like, they didn't use the BAR, right? They didn't use it, right? And I'm just like, is this a joke to you? Is this a game to you? I mean, it is a game, but also have some historical accuracy. This is so dumb. I'm the only one who does this. It's so dumb. It's really dumb, but I do it all the same because it has to be right. Oh, God. I just exposed myself as just a massive numpty here. I can't do it. The game's for fun, and I'm out here like making sure everything is historically accurate, and I'm there going, see you using the Lee Enfield semi-auto. That didn't exist. That wasn't used in World War II. What a dummy you are. Meanwhile, all my teammates just kind of there like, hello to this guy, and I'm like, well, look, it's how I enjoy the game, okay? No, it's a judgment-free zone. Hopefully.
I'm definitely being judged right now. Yeah, I'll